You are now tuned into the truth frequency.
We are TFR.
Truth Frequency Radio.
When you finally boil it all down, magic is imagination. We are moving into an age of manifestation. Things become actually less material, more ethereal. The golden dawn is when we awaken to this new station of life. What you think becomes real quicker. Regain our imagination, regain our inner child, and let that inner child out.
My name is Frank Castle, founding member of the music group Heislick and New York City Neo Shaman. After a serious injury sidelined my career in 2013, I decided to set out on an adventure to search for myself with the help of the plant medicine ayahuasca. What I discovered waiting for me was something I could have never prepared for. It was time for me to become something more, someone more. It was time I became fearless. Shine as my heart beats a rhythm with space and time. When the light starts shine inside your third eye, you awake to the knowledge that you never die.
Hey, what's going on? It's your man Frank Castle. Sorry about that. Some technical difficulties before the show, and I couldn't connect in. Before we start the show tonight, I just want to say what's up to Chris and Cherie. Without you guys, we wouldn't be here doing the show. I'm hoping everybody can hear me and that we're connected. I'm just going to roll through it anyway. It's been a crazy, rough week in and out of ayahuasca ceremonies, and it's been absolutely nuts. Tonight, we're going to go over a few things, though, that have been going on. For one of our friends on Facebook. Good day, everyone. Yesterday, July 14th to the July 23rd are the serious satanic rituals abuse days. Take an extra reinforcement during these days. Stay highly positive and fight off any lower vibration, thoughts, and emotions. We need to stand firm in our convictions and to do as much to stay busy, active, and focused. When something negative occurs, repurpose the situation. This includes your thoughts. If you are thinking negative, repurpose those thoughts. Same with emotions, turn them around. Sing songs of beauty, do art, be creative, be a peacemaker, stay away from sex, stay away from alcohol, stay in good company of dear friends, and be happy and push through chaos. If your emotions get out of hand, bring in your energy skills. Go put your feet in water, earth, or sand. Stay away from the astral right now and be alert. If you need help, ask for it. If someone needs help, then offer help. Do good during these days. Stay focused, people. This year is a big year pulling in energies of low vibrations, so be aware and continue watching yourself every single day until this segment is done. You got to fight back with the light. This is from Jolene Seebacher. I've been following her for a while now, just on Facebook. And if I've ever seen anyone that has it, it's definitely her. The light's definitely shining through. I need to take some of her own advice. The energy work is growing near impossible today. And I know that many others are out there feeling it. So if you are, just know what's going on. Stay alert for the next few days. Shout outs to everybody in the chat room as well.
So we're having a little bit of a problem here. Right before the show was to air, Frank found himself immobile. He couldn't get up, couldn't move, couldn't talk, couldn't walk. It's like something is trying to keep him from doing the show tonight. Something bigger than us. And it's a very weird energy that's around us right now, very weird vibration. I don't even know if people can hear us. Can you chat room folks let us know if you can hear us or not?
All right, so it's been a crazy crazy evening. I feel sick to my stomach. I'm gonna basically throw up on air if I have to. I don't care anymore. This is the kind of stuff that makes me sick. I can't even find the page in the book where anything is. Look, nothing's here, nothing's here. All I got is a disclaimer page. It's like it's like the whole world wants to attack you at once, but it's really not. We know what the situation is. It's a bunch of shitty elements in this place that we are, in this thick density, and it's a never-ending stomping ground. Okay, and let me tell you something. I'm kind of sick and tired of everyone that's not doing their part in this. All you're doing is drowning the people next to you. You're like crabs in a bucket. You're just pulling each other down, one after another after another. You should be lifting each other up instead of pulling each other down. I come on here every week, and I have to force myself sometimes to come on here and keep a straight face without actually breaking a microphone over someone's head, because it's just like speaking to a brick wall. And I know most of the dedicated guys are fearless, and I love you guys, but what I see is no bueno. No bueno. Nobody gets the break anymore. Did 8 days of ceremonies. I can't even find anything in this book. It's like they can't even, there's no page list.
And it's funny too, because Frank and I had earlier today, we had gone over the show, what we were going to talk about, the content. We were, he even did a clearing on me. And I don't know, do you think when you did that clearing, maybe something jumped off or something happened right before the show? We were having a great dinner. And then all of a sudden, I really thought, I was afraid. I thought he was having a heart attack at first. He was on his knees on the floor. I couldn't get him up off the floor. And it's like something does not want this message to come out tonight.
All right. This is going to fight me all the way across the board, so I'm going to fight it back. So you had an ayahuasca ceremony recently, huh?
Yes, I did. That's what you want to talk about?
Yeah, well, I don't really have anything to talk about. Everything was in that notebook.
I know.
Just the pages was missing. I'm sitting here like, and it's coming off like a rude complaint, but really what's going on here is absolutely crazy. Pure craziness. So how did it's been a while since you had an ayahuasca ceremony.
Oh,
yes?
It was a very long time. Many, many, many months, you and I. It's been a long time. And I knew I had to drink for a while. We spoke about it. And I kept making excuses and putting it off. And then I decided to drink recently. And the funny thing was, I didn't discuss it with you. In my head, I was thinking I'm ready to drink. And the circumstances were correct, everything aligned, and I was able to really say, okay, I'm ready to drink. And as the day progressed and I got home, I was trying to find ways to talk myself out of it. And our friends came to the rescue, and they all had come to visit that one particular day. And it was the greatest support system. I felt like they were there truly for me, to encourage me to drink and to make me feel safe going under. And one of our friends had said to me, don't worry, it's not going to kick your butt, because that was my fear, that I was going to go in and I was going to get my butt kicked because I hadn't drank in a while. I had been taking a lot of negative energy in, and you had removed that thing from my stomach a week earlier, so I knew there was a little buildup of sludge, and I knew that I needed to release all of that. I also knew I needed to drink prior to going to South Carolina in the summer, next month, because I wanted to be as cleared as I could for the eclipse. And it was very important to me that this happened. So I drank, and as soon as I drank the roux, it wasn't even 10 seconds, I threw it all up. And you couldn't believe it, because as quickly as it went down, it came up. And then I heard the voice say, don't worry, drink it again. You're not going to throw it up again. And I said, okay. And then you gave it to me again, and I drank it. and then I was fine. And then I drank the Aya, and I managed to keep that in for a while. And again, I heard the voice say, "Okay, get ready. You're gonna start your purge." And I purged, and it was all of the sludge that had built up from the last time I drank.
That's a long time in between sludge buildup, huh?
Yeah, it was a long time, and it was hard. The purge was very difficult for me. It felt like it. I'm going to say it but it sounds silly. But it felt like an entity definitely did come up. It looked like Slimer from Ghostbusters, but a tiny, tiny version. And even while it was in the bucket, it was still screaming at me.
I heard it.
And
when you purge up and the bucket's still screaming, you know.
yeah, but it had to come out. Had to get rid of it. But I think it was connected to the entity that you pulled out of me the week prior. Because another one of our friends had a session as well. And we had a very similar session. Same thing. Same entity, same location, physically in the body, needed to be removed. So there was a lot of things going on. But I never thought I'd have a shared experience with somebody else, but I did. And I'm really grateful that I drank, and I'm really grateful that part is over. But our friends were right. It didn't beat me up. It wasn't a hard session. It wasn't a hard experience. It was a very uplifting, much needed medicinal experience, I felt.
Did they talk to you?
Not the way they talk to you, but I did receive information. It was like closing chapters on a lot of things, clearing out a lot of issues, and they were sending love, and a lot of healing went on. So I was grateful for that. I was really grateful for that experience. I feel, Frank, I feel terrible. You look horrible.
I'm ready to.
I know
don't
you're
even
ready
wanna
to get
say
sick.
it, and I'm gonna get sick on air.
I know.
It's like something's holding me by the throat and doesn't want me to talk.
Literally, folks, and you know, I mean, I say it. If this is what's happening, if you choose to believe it, believe it. If you don't, then that's fine as well. But literally, it was like someone was holding him down. I could not get him up off the floor by myself, and he is now. It's like everything's fighting to make him keep his mouth shut, and I really don't know why. I don't know if it's that time, you know, our other fearless friend who believes that this is a very demonic time this week, the 14th through the 21st, a very ritualistic time. I don't know if that's really what's doing it, or if there's something else doing it to you. I feel terrible. You're never this quiet.
One of the things they've showed me over the last couple of weeks of everything that I was doing, it's great to clear yourself and clean yourself and think, you know, it's all love and light. But the real truth why we're here is that we're warriors, because there's other things going on. There's a corruption that's deeper than just the sickness. There's an oppressive thumb in multiple layers squeezing down, and they're going to come squeezing on every one of you. Everyone that shines the light is going to have a little bit of the taste.
Yeah, for sure.
Once you flip sides, or you pick a side and you're like, I'm going light, I'm going to do this, I'm going fearless, they pick up on it eventually. They pick up on your groups of friends and your conversations and just pretty much everything. And the attacks will happen in threes. This is the last thing I learned the other day. It'll happen in three different parts. It'll happen in physical layer. It'll happen in etherical. Look, it's taking my voice.
Yeah, it's
from
taking
me.
your voice right now. I know.
One of the things that was being removed from us the other day, we talk about layers of black. Everything is black goo, artificial intelligence. I was holding space inside my Taurus, one of the Tauruses inside my chakras, right? So pick a color. I was in it. We'll say purple. And I was sitting.
Through it. Push it.
I was sitting in it, and I was holding it there. I was sitting in a chair, and I was on the other side there. And I was sitting inside the Taurus going, what is this? I can hold myself in it now. And they're like, it's you. You're holding in you. So I'm like, oh, okay, this is really neat. I'll qualify the statement in a second. As I look off into the distance, and I can see the rooms turning, like the Taurus turns in on itself, something flies across my field of vision. And I'm like, what is that? Is that something in my eye? Or so? I mean, it doesn't even look like it belongs. It looks like a physical object. Like, and it looked like a little fly. And as I focused in on it, got closer and closer. It was a nanobot. And it was floating inside the Taurus, the etheric chamber, whatever you want to call it. And I was switching from colors, from purple to yellow to red to green to blue. And each section had different amounts of these things floating around inside of that chamber. And it was interesting. It's just as you're having a spiritual moment and a connection, and you're like, wow, I could finally, hey, what's that? Right? And it's nothing glorious. They say, look, that's a nano. We're gonna collect these from you, but they can't just be plucked. They have to be drawn out.
So it's more painful.
A lot more painful. Everyone had them. They told me that it came in on the rain. That's where they're dispersing them from.
That's what happened to us. Remember a couple of months ago that happened to us? We got caught in the rain. It's painful.
It affects everyone. Whether you believe in chemtrails or whatever, it's in everything. It's not just the chemtrails. It's just released in just about everything. Oh man, I'm pushing through this. I feel like there's someone in my throat just like, nope.
Right.
And I'm like,
trying to hold your voice back. Mm-hmm.
When you're getting me out of the bed, I was fighting my way back into my body. I have no clue what's happening. But I remember throwing an elbow and getting back in. And I'm like, it feels like there's someone else in here.
Yes, you're fighting something. During the break, we'll try to push it out. Maybe we can push it out during the break.
Yeah, listen, if you like the shows here on TFR, don't forget to sign up. I'm really trying, guys. Just stick with me. They battle you on all fronts. They don't want the message out. And
they don't want the message out.
They know our group now. This is one of the things I was being shown. They know your group. They know what's happening. And your group's not going to believe that they're going to be targets. Naturally, who does?
Right.
You go into etheric realm, yay.
Right.
They go, you guys shine so bright that it's causing problems. But there's not just us. There's a lot of us. It's not just my fearless family. It's not just the guys that are listening.
People that don't even know what's happening. That's the scary part. Push through it.
Yeah, so we're lighting up. They can see what we're doing. It's almost like there's not much you can do about it, but they're going to go for it anyway.
Right.
Because the plan is the plan. Okay? And it's hard to explain this to people and let them know, like, there's these things that they kind of look at us, because then they get scared. It's it's the things you don't want to talk about with ayahuasca. You're like, look, it's going to show you things about you. It's all about you, and it's all about you, and that's beautiful. That's great. That's fun. That's awesome. But in reality is we're in this giant fishbowl with other things.
With other non-human entities that take interest in human behavior. They just like to observe human behavior.
Or they want DNA, or they want...
Or whatever. They're just
everyone
here to observe.
has an agenda. And there is a hierarchy. I spoke of the hierarchy before.
we share space with these beings, and that's just the way it is. They're always there, whether you can see them or not, or feel them or not, or believe it's happening or not. They're there. And right now they seem to be working double time.
One of the cool things about memes that I like is that you could just physically see this. Like, look, I want you to laugh at this, but at the same time, I want you to understand this. And there's a meme where this thing's attacking. It looks like a little goblin is attacking and it's trying to steal your vibes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the person's just standing there smiling like, F off, get out of my way, demon. That's kind of what you have to do to them. You got to like laugh in their face, push through it. Because it's not easy. A lot of these times you think it's you wonder, what's wrong with me? Why is this happening? Well, you're not the only one. You could believe that. One of the things I was shown, they kept telling me how protected everyone is and everything is nice. And then they turned around and said, you got to really know yourself, though, before we go any further. So we're going to keep you here for a little bit until you recognize some stuff. I don't know if I spoke about this last week or not. And I said, okay, what's up? And then they started showing me 65% or better as the villain in my lifetimes.
In your previous lifetime.
My previous lifetimes. Yeah, not in this lifetime. I wasn't a villain. But they were showing me do the most horrific things. Lighting things on fire and just letting it burn and stabbing with swords, shields, horses, stomping, destroying, destruction over and over through the centuries, over and over. And then I had to recognize and say that was me. I had no choice.
Hurtful.
They would have kept me there.
Painful.
And as I pushed through that, it flipped into something new yet again. They started saying stuff like, we're so sorry, though, every time you go for that good light path, and we send you in, they kill you.
Yep.
They remove you from the game. Every single time. And this goes back to something I said a while ago about no more Superman. Not one man is going to save you. Not one being is going to save you. Not one thing is going to save you. You're going to save yourself. So that allows everyone to become the Superman.
Right. Use what's in your arsenal.
Yes.
Use the gifts that you've been given.
Everything that you've been taught or you learn up to that point goes into play at that moment. And I'm one to speak. I had no time, guys. I was trying to I did get the computer on and going, and then it wouldn't connect.
Nope.
And then I had to go, run into the bathroom. I'm throwing water on my face like, come on, man, bring it back. And I come back outside. Nope, still not ready again.
Then
Punch the microphone.
The mics wouldn't work.
I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah. When during the break,
I ran outside and screamed at the top of my lungs to run back in here to
release some energy.
Release the energy, but grip myself back and anchor in. I wish I was on video, but I don't, to show you guys what it's like to push through this, because
he looks like another person. It looks like there's something inside of him that's fighting to get out.
Yeah, I don't drink and do stupid things, fellas. I don't it's not part of what I do.
No.
It's obvious that they don't want me saying what I have to you.
No, we have a whole notebook full of content, and Frank
the one page
find,
I need is
couldn't
not
find
there.
Any of the pages.
I'm just flipping through, and I'm saying to myself, but I do have other pages and notes.
You do.
I've been trying to copy everything out of my mind onto paper, and it's been failing me horribly because it's so much. See, here's Sunday, 7/2.
Yep.
So there's a date for you. That was the last thing I could write down with any totality to finish a coherent thought. But after the whole time had ended, it's almost like I was shown the whole story, and then they showed me piece by piece by piece by piece, and then the whole story again.
Mm-hmm.
And I went, oh, so you showed me from start to finish. I didn't understand it.
Right, and then you segmented it.
Then you segmented it, and then went back and showed me from the end to the beginning to the beginning to the end again, and now it's making,
a little more sense.
a little bit. What's happening here is it looks like from all the people I've been working with, we're removing entities. Artificial intelligence is being collected and passed out in the form of black goo or some kind of organic dark fluid that comes out of you, whether it comes out on one side or the other. There's entities that are floating.
Push through it.
There's that are floating right there in your etheric self. And
push through it.
You can clear them out with stuff like sage and oils.
Yes.
You could rub them on your hands and feet and put them on your forehead. You can chant. You can Om. You can Om Na Shiva. There's a lot of ways you can do this. Look, I know a lot of you are reaching out to me right now. I cannot call you at all, and I can't take a break and call. But I love you, and I can't do that, though. There's way too much going on. All right. Now, these are ways you deal with this stuff. You sit in the sunlight, put your feet out in grass.
Yes, in the earth or in the sand.
You ask people that someone like Paula, if you know anyone like Paula, the etherical translator type, to run your hands over me for a second.
We're gonna try that during the break because we're gonna lose them in a few seconds. You know, so we're gonna wrap it up, and then I'm gonna try to give Frank a clearing. That. So we'll be back. Back right up.
Still your protection from deception. Don't get it crooked. I'll be back to slap this thing and ready.
We are TFR.
My faith in destiny is all I need to prevail.
Truth Frequency Radio.
Am I awake or is this a dream? A fantasy where I'd rather be. So come and talk with me. Come and walk with me. Is this also a call from my reality? Have you seen my friends? Have you seen my girl? Wake me up from this. I'm trapped in this world.
Hey, what's up, everybody? We're back.
Even the cat doesn't want to leave him now. We're just scared to leave you. So Frank purged during the break. Hopefully he'll be a little clearer now, but something is definitely in his face and in his throat, and it's hanging on. It's got hooks. It doesn't want him to speak. But we're going to try to push through and get through the second half of this show. I wish you could see the torment that this man is going through right now.
Yeah, she's not joking. I'm not even playing. You could hear the change in my voice as this happening. I was absolutely 100% okay. This is more than interesting.
So as soon as we went to break, I ran my hands on Frank. It's coming at him through the heart chakra. Whatever this thing is that's attached to him right now, and we managed to get it up and out, but now I think it's hiding in his face.
I can't breathe out of my nose at all.
Yeah, I think it's right behind your eyes because he purged, but he didn't purge enough. And then he said, "You thought you were done," and I said, "I don't think you're done. I think there's more that needs to come out."
It seems to be the ongoing joke around here. Arnold Schwarzenegger, when he's like, "Give him back the air, Cohagen," when he's on Mars and his eyes are coming out of his head and he can't breathe because there's no air, but the air's coming. That's my eyes were doing that.
Yeah.
And it just pushes and pushes and pushes. Look at now, it's getting better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah,
This is just, and the day started so wonderfully. Frank woke up in a great mood. He woke up and he woke up early. We were laughing and talking about the show all day, and it was like a series of unfortunate events, right? Like the last hour leading up to the show, and then this fit of rage came over him, and he hasn't. I mean, Frank doesn't get like that. I mean, throwing things and yelling and we looked at each other and we both said, this is not normal. This is not you.
I'm even agreeing.
Yeah.
That it's not me.
Right. Frank with the joke about the cocaine and cigarettes.
Oh my God. I lowercase G's. I need an ice pack. Okay, check it out. Let me just try to.
Okay.
Maybe through talking about some of this stuff, I'll be able to work through
Pull it together.
Okay. I remember I was laying on the bed, and they were saying, "Listen, everyone's here." They had shown me as the villain. Gaia held me in the bed around like my chest to make sure I wouldn't lash out.
Mm-hmm.
I apparently do that at times.
Yes.
So they're just like, hey, listen, we're going to do this. But these are my notes directly. You came. My cosmic grandfather showed up and I started crying. I was being cleaned again, piece by piece, being looked at by the Egyptian pantheon. Gaia, Shiva, Ganesha, my light being, my ancestors. I asked, are you here and you're all coming forward to check in with me? They were showing me in the water and under the water. They said, you are the water.
Right.
The sharks are your family. They're pets. I was huge then, 70 to 100 feet tall. It felt so good in the water. Then they started talking to me about who I am. So many names over time, so many personalities, so many injuries. The injury would start to rise or come forward. Then I was shown what happens. Its layers would peel away as I'm presented with what I will be and what I'll be able to do when the time comes. Once again, they showed up on my left hand. It filled with the violet flame.
Mm-hmm.
And the implication was that the healing touch was on its way. And then I wrote, we no longer worry, we only get concerned.
That's right. You've changed your way of thinking with that. Oh, you don't use that word anymore.
I didn't even realize how much I used that word.
Yeah, until you stopped using it.
It was almost like quitting a very bad habit.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't even realize you're doing it. I think I did talk about this, though, when you present the word worry. The woo
Mm-hmm.
brings you down into that weird woo vibration. And it just, it locks you into that vibration.
I agree. Push through.
So
I know, it's right here.
So by changing the way you think and the patterns, you start to rebuild new pathways to see when you don't think about it. But you're aware of it, but you don't think about it.
Yeah.
Right? All of a sudden you have a defense against it because you understand it.
Because you're not bringing the fear in.
You're not bringing the fear in, and you're like, well, we'll just shut that off, and you continue going. It's when you're not aware and you don't even realize that you're doing it. It's like you're this willing participant inside this giant ceremony you're not even aware of. I want to thank you guys for sticking with me. Thank you, Paula, by the way, for that during the break. That was crazy. Sometimes this stuff comes out very Exorcist-like, and I don't appreciate that. During the purge, I fainted.
I know.
And I hit my head on the toilet pretty hard. I never did that before. It was like when your energy entered and you were going, push it through. I had to go inside and grab it and start bringing it out. Like, come on. it physically takes over control. I don't know what it is. I'm not going to say what it is, but it physically takes control and hold.
Oh, over your body, you did. Frank was purging. He passed out and he hit his head, and I went, "Oh my God, what are we gonna? We have a show to do. What are we gonna do?" But you ended up pulling it together.
Yeah, I'm fighting a little bit.
Well, we're not done. We have more to do.
Oh, I know, but I'm trying to put into play what they taught me, because these are the moments. They say, "Well, what have you been doing?"
There was a lot of different energy in this apartment the last 2 weeks. There were a lot of sessions that happened, and for the most part, they were all very positive sessions. But that energy that's released needs to go somewhere. It needs to land somewhere, and we do a very good job of clearing the house after, but there are these entities sometimes that just hang around. Before Frank has an ayahuasca experience, these entities and beings come to see the people that are having the experience. So they hang around the house waiting for the people that are going to come to have the experiences. Not unlike
you could feel the density
psychics.
change.
Like when psychics are reading people, their people will want to come to see them from the other side. It's the same thing that happens here. These beings hang around and wait for the people that are going through the sessions. So there's a lot of energy, an exchange of energy during the experience, after, people that wait prior to the experience. Most of it is safe. They just come to observe, to see, they like to observe human behavior. But others are a bit more curious, I would say. And they want to see how far they can go with the interaction. And that's not welcome. And that's what we're, I think, dealing with right now.
One of the things, everyone that comes here to work sees the person looking in the window.
Yeah. Yes.
This goes on
continuously.
Every time. Yeah. Every person comes here, says, "I see that thing in the window watching me." You're allowed to look, and you're definitely not allowed to touch
and interfere. You can observe. There are, and again, you believe this or not, but there are multiple entities that come, and they really just want to observe what's going on. But some of them do get a bit curious, and Frank is the one, unfortunately, that is affected by this. He had to leave now. He had to get up because he's trying to purge. Oh, you're pulling it together. Okay. We have to continue the purge after the show, but he's fighting this thing. It's in your face. It's behind your eyes.
I feel like I'm getting punched behind my eyes.
Yeah, it's behind your eyes.
But these things will interfere. Just like the ultimate battle between good and evil, light and dark.
Yeah.
It is a war. I don't like to shape it like that, but it is. We're here to do more.
We are. And that message sometimes.
You guys that hear my voice and go, "Oh, I know it's right. I know it's real. I know this is what's supposed to happen. I know. It's the unlock code, guys.
It is.
This is what's going on." You remember it because it already happened. We're not, watch what you say, but saying like we're not from here, or there's a whole bunch of us that just aren't from here.
No.
And we got work to do, and we're aware that it's us, and they're aware that we're aware that it's us.
And they don't like that. They don't like the fact that we're all finding each other now. I mean, Frank is contacted on Facebook every single day by people all over the world. And I know that even sounds silly, but it's absolutely true. All over the world, there are people that wish us well.
We're uniting and banding together.
We're
through
uniting.
Love and hellos.
Yes,
and,
through love.
Hey, how are you?
Yes.
I heard your voice. It sounds great. It makes me feel like home.
Yes, or I heard you're not feeling well. I'm sending you love.
Oh, yeah, a lot of positive vibes.
There's a lot of positive vibes going around, and I think some of those entities are not happy with that. It's going against what is
their entire farming system.
Yeah, they're trying to do in the background. It's not going to work tonight either.
One of the things, right? Like we go piece by piece by piece, and we try to just unlock the piece of the puzzle. But if you guys really want to get silly and talk about a giant section of the puzzle, we're a farming for food. The way we farm cattle and use it for multiple things and whatever, and just discard it as will and use whatever we want. We're that for other things.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's the real reality. So we could rise up and we are the I am, that is awesome. But when you come to grips with that, you got to come to grips with what's keeping you from being that. What has been keeping you the whole time. It's not that you just forgot. You know?
No, it's not, because
there's an amnesia because something's feeding on you.
Something's feeding on you. Absolutely. That's what it is. Like people that, we have our friends that are aware and that realize the shift is happening and that we are part of something bigger. And then we have other friends and family that don't believe anything is happening at all. And in both cases, it's true. But the people that are not aware are the people that are easy prey because they're being fed on their energy is being drained all of the time.
Yeah, they don't even see it.
They don't even know it's happening. I had a friend who had an energy attached to her. It followed her everywhere. And it fed off of her. And you can't tell someone who doesn't believe that that's happening to them. And it's, what are you looking for? You're looking for something?
No, something's moving around me.
Around you. Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm sorry. I don't need to interrupt you.
No. I'm just making sure you're okay. I could see it. I really wish that you guys could see what's happening because it some of you think, it's all Frank and Paul are crazy, but that's not it. Frank is actually fighting something right now internally. I mean, this man is never at a loss for words, ever. And it's like they're not letting him speak.
It's just going back and forth. It's a matter of what I want to say.
And what they're letting
if I wanted to talk about comic books right now.
Yeah, you can say anything
say whatever you want. You try to tell them that there's a soul trap.
Yep.
That there's a soul trap and that they're repeating cycles of farming us. Mm-hmm. Right? Here, break the fearless cycle. You know the garbage now. The true garbage. They're there to get you, right? Rah. Now you got to go, okay. No, they're not. This is how we're going to beat them. Wait. You're not going to beat them by throwing punches.
No.
You're not going to beat them by, I don't know, beating them out of your face in the mirror. We got you, right? No. You're going to say no over and over again. I've been saying it internally. And they're strong. But you know what? We're stronger. We know what's going on.
Oh, yeah. And this is leaving. This will be gone by the end of the night. It'll be out of you. Oh, it's not a Draco either. It's just some form of
I'm gonna tell you guys though.
It's an entity. It's not.
When I was under the other day, I had a reptilian attached to me the way the girls did, and that I removed.
Yeah.
I had one on my right side instead of everyone had them on their left, all the women, and then I had one that peeked up at me.
Oh, through your rib cage.
Yeah, it looked right directly in my face, and I said, "Oh, you're exactly what I've been removing from everyone." Mm-hmm. And they said.
Yeah, see, now the words can't come out. Mm-hmm. Push it out.
One of the steps is a reptilian attack. I don't know if it's I don't know. They
push it through.
They jump right out of their body, just like as if they were just going on an astral walk. They walk right over to you and they just knock you right out.
Sure, they jump
right in. They just push you over and come right in. And then you wind up having to fight for space over your stuff.
Yeah, they're trying to stop him from speaking now. You have to see
because this is what they do. This is what they were doing to Max Spears. This is what they were doing to Corey when he couldn't talk and he was all pilled out because he had his issues. They find their way in, whichever way it is, and they go for a 3-sided attack where they try to keep you. They try to keep you off your toes.
Yep.
Right, so you just can't make a move. Well, you know what? There's too many of us now.
Right. There's too many of us to not know what's
That
going on.
144,000, I don't know if that number is real or not, but I know there's a bunch of us and we're all waking up. And I do know it's not a lot of us, but I do know it's enough.
Oh, definitely it's enough.
It's
that
just
one
got to
point of
move
light.
faster.
1 point of light, that's all it is.
Just a little faster, please.
Yeah, because
We have-
8 minutes. Huh? You
Yeah,
keep
I'm
it
not.
going.
I'm not sweating it. I'm pushing this thing out of my way. I'm using everything that
I know.
I can to just shove its face away from me, because I see it for what it is, hear it for what it is, learn how to deal with it, and get rid of this garbage.
Yeah.
It's not just your negativity of yourself. No, there's things pouncing into you, on
Foreign
top of you.
Objects.
Listen, I saw these nano things. I've never quite seen them like that before. I was inside the spiritual experience, and they were just, what was that?
I don't know.
They just floated through physically. So I'm like, so it's like having a robot just step in, but it's a little tiny one.
It's like when we got caught in the rain that time.
And it's
Those little nanobots.
And then you have to collect them and purge them out, as well as everything else, all that other garbage. You know, I'm reading the thing for tonight's show, removing the AI. It's so hard to stay clean. Reality's returning, but this is insane. And I'm like, this really is internally sane, because it's really us doing it. But out here, it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
But it is crazy because it started with the form of an argument. Because it was like, oh, you cooked too much, now I'm tired. Well, I didn't cook that much, and you're not exhausted from eating a hamburger. You know, so, you know, it manifests itself in any way to get you arguing, to get you bickering, to get you to divided so that they can conquer.
I was staring at the door.
Yeah.
And I couldn't move.
Yeah.
Just, that's it. You're staring at the door, can't move. And I'm like, hello.
Yeah, and then you realize, no, this isn't.
This isn't working.
This is you. It's inside of you.
And then and it comes out, and you're like, holy Okay, so beware of all this stuff. Use everything you've learned. Stand fearless. Ask for help. Bring your friends around if you need it. Don't be afraid. Don't go into the dark to hide from the dark.
No, confront it. Yeah, he's.
Holy shit! You come right out into the light. You start asking for help, and let everyone grab a crystal, put on the music.
Sage. I have to do that after.
Absolutely. Everything that they don't like, do in excess. Laugh as much as you can, and as hard as you can, and as much as you can. Don't take things to heart so much. Lighten up. If you got to go outside and just scream up once, you know what? Everybody give the next guy over a friggin' pass.
Yeah,
go out there and just blah.
Yep.
And go back inside and handle your business. You know, new doors opened when we, during the ceremony, I took out the emerald tablet.
Yeah, they
I
don't
took
want you
out
to
the
tell
emerald
that.
tablets. In one of the chapters, there's the names of the 7. They explain that if you draw a circle around yourself in a sigil, and raise your hands up and call to them, and in the paragraph, I'm going to read it. I can't read it tonight. I'm going to read it on air to you guys next time. But here's a little homework. Go find the paragraph. Learn the names of the 7. Speak them while in the circle, and let them come clear this stuff out.
Yeah, they don't want you to.
Yeah, let them come and do it. If you can't find it in yourself, you find it
in others. Find it in
you're
others.
going to have faith
Yep.
in the people around you and next to you. So you're going to have to start coming out of the dark and start making chains for each other, like human lines, one arm to one arm, until we pull each other out of this, and you can't pull each other back down. One of the things about the Fearless line in the collection, I can't.
Yeah, we can't even talk about it now.
It's for everyone gets paid, kind of, right?
Yeah,
So
everyone gets a little piece of something.
the artist gets the most, honestly, right? And then there's what it costs to make the product,
Right.
and then there's that, and then the artist makes 50% immediately, and then it trickles down the rest.
Yeah.
There's enough for everyone to eat.
But there is enough, and that's what we've been talking about. There is enough for everyone because everybody doesn't want the same thing. We're not all going after the same thing. So whatever you want, the people that want to get theirs, I got mine. There is enough for everybody. So stop living in this lack and scarcity mode. Realize that there is enough for everybody. No matter how much you want, there's enough for everybody. You just have to do the work.
This is the abundance they talk about.
Yeah.
They were telling me stuff like you don't need to work physically more than 4 to 5 hours a week because there's so many people that if everybody lifted and did one thing that every day you could do a little bit of something else that just makes you feel good.
But
or
look
makes
at you. Look at how much you get done during the week. Some days you don't leave the house. But you have so much going on and you get so much done. And everyone, people don't understand. They're like, oh, Frank is home. Yeah, Frank is home busting his ass from the time he gets up till the time he goes to bed. There's always something to do. Getting the line up with Serge was not easy. Getting the artists, that wasn't
none of this is easy, but here's the payoff. We win.
Yeah, you win. In the end, you win.
Cryptocurrencies, gold, silver, and
Yeah, they don't want you to.
We're sucking the money out of the 1% back into us.
Yeah. We're
going to do it. It's going to happen. Whether I get whatever is happening to me right now or it happens to you. when this is what I was trying to say to the group, right? Like they throw a thumb on me, a boot into my back, right?
Right.
I need everybody to be
right.
your version of this.
Right.
Go
to work.
To
help.
Because you take me down, 100 more pop up.
Right.
Nothing you can do about it.
Nothing
you
can
take
do
out
about
one
it.
of them, another 100 show up. So that's what we're doing here.
It's an endless cycle. It's endless. They do not want you to know who you were, where you came from, what is ahead of us. They don't want us to know these things, but it's too late now. We already know. We already have the inside track. We know how to get the information now. We know where things are stored. We know who to go to ask for information, for help.
And if we don't, we go in and we ask.
Yeah.
One of the things that I was having an issue with about getting myself cleared, other than Paula, is because there's so much energy around here. After ceremonies and everything, they were like, Frank, you're like the shaman who shamans shaman.
The shaman.
You come to us if you want to get cleared.
Right.
Because you're doing that advanced work, I guess, until people rise up and take their place. Everyone could do this. This isn't something that,
Yeah, no,
it's just
anyone
where,
can do this.
where do you see yourself? Where do you find it? Is it in you? Do you want to do it? Or do you just want to plug back into the matrix and be like, nah, none of this is real?
And that's totally fine too, but accept your place, accept your place. And if you want more, go grab more. Go get more, be more, do more.
Yeah, and you don't have to hurt nobody to do any of this. This is all uplifting stuff.
Yeah.
You control your position, and then it changes the world.
Oh, we're gonna do it.
Oh, we've already lost it. We're at the deep end of the pool. I want to thank every one of you for sticking there with me. Send me all your positive vibes, because when this mic cuts off,
Yep, we're purging.
there's going to be a beating on myself getting thrown around the room. So I'm going to need you for that. Love you guys. Protection.